I will speak as long as it takes until the alarm is sounded from coast to coast that our Constitution is important, that no American should be killed by a drone on American soil without first being charged with a crime.
Well, the last month, Senator Rand Paul's 13-hour filibuster pushing against the Obama administration's drone policy. Well, our next guest says that's just one example of how Paul has become the new face of the GOP's defense policy and somebody he can see eye to eye with. We're talking about Commander Kirk Lippold. He is a retired Navy commander. 12 years ago, he was the commander of the USS Cole when she was attacked by al-Qaeda terrorists. He also is the author of Front Burner, now in paperback. Commander, why is Rand Paul's philosophy, essentially, of pulling back and not getting engaged in every conflict, may be more apropos for today?
I think you have to look at it. He is forcing people to ask the hard question. What are our national security interests when we choose to engage in a country? When you look at the debacle that happened in Libya and how that country is still destabilized, what were our national security interests there? While they may have had a terrible dictator, that doesn't mean that we have to engage militarily. And now when you look at Syria, that even has more consequences because they're forming alliances with al-Qaeda. We don't know what's going to happen in the region. And while Assad is a terrible dictator, killing tens of thousands of his own people, at least we know he's predictable and has allowed a certain degree of accommodation for every religious group in his country. That will all go away soon.
Right, and Commander, when you get the orders, you guys have to go do the fight. You'd like to maybe have a say in why we're fighting. And in Syria this week, the same day al-Nusra announces an alliance with al-Qaeda, we decide we're going to upgrade humanitarian aid, maybe more, for the rebels, which essentially is al-Qaeda.
Well, I've always looked at it as any time you are providing humanitarian aid, you have to look. That is freeing up other money and other resources to go toward people like terrorists and others that do not support our government and our national security interests. So we really need to think through that policy.
You also say that Senator McCain, as much as you respect him and like him, you think he might have old world thinking compared to what we got to be thinking about and philosophizing about in the future. Why?
Well, you look at it, John McCain has wanted to involve us in a number of conflicts recently, and the reality of it is, A, we can't afford it, and B, I think we really need to take a look, as I mentioned a minute ago. What are our national security interests? How can they be defined? Getting involved is easy. Thinking through the second and third order effects, which this White House has not done time after time, really is going to be the difference between old leadership and new leadership.
Commander Lippold, thanks so much. The name of his book is Front Burner. It's out on paperback, Al-Qaeda's Attack on the USS Cole. Thanks, Commander.